So coming down to the shop today, we have a very, very unusual day today. We're going to be watching our grandson most of the day, and I've got to have to rearrange things because this is his Lego table, and he does not like me putting motorcycle parts on his Lego table. So on my table, which was the FZR table, I've got to decide what I want to do with all these decals, and boy, they dried up beautifully. And I think this is going to be of some value to have them taped to glass, so when I take this apart, this actually is Karen's glass, and she doesn't know that I have it, all except for one piece, which maybe she'll confiscate it. She'll find out there's paint on it now, and I may be murdered. It could be a simple case of murder. I used up the extra clear that I had on that, because I know that's going to take a tremendous beating in the course of just riding a motorcycle. It was in pretty rough shape when I took it apart. That little extra clear will probably help. So what I have to do today, it's kind of a difficult day to figure out how I can maximize the use of this day. It's not a great painting day. I don't have a lot of time, but I'm going to try to get something done. I'm going to try to figure out how I can use this. I call it sequencing, but there's probably a better word. So I thought because it's not a painting day, I could cut some of the decals out, and I'm trying to show this has like a hairline line around it. This is done on white decal paper, so I have to really cut that accurately. And we purposely, John and I designed these decals with the idea in mind we would have to razor cut the edge, so there's no curves. It's all straight edges. Now the other thing, and I'll put this information up on the screen soon, maybe in the course of this video, John had found in the past some, these are normal 1157 sockets. These are going to go inside the fairing, but he found some really, really cool high intensity bulbs that I want to use these as running lights. So in other words, they will be on all the time, but then when you put the blinkers on, they'll turn into blinkers. Well, to do that, I need some special bulbs, and John found bulbs that as running lights, they're white, and when you turn them into blinkers, they turn into yellow bulbs. So that's going to be kind of cool. They're called switchback bulbs. I'll put the information up on the screen at some point in the video. And those bulbs are going to get permanently mounted, the sockets, and I'll be able to, I hope, I'm going to be able to reach my hand in, unplug the bulb when I want to take the fairing off for maintenance or for whatever. Or if we do a track day and run into a ditch. So a basic philosophy that I have is whenever you do any project, I've learned this the hard way, whether it's paint, backmasking, or decals, if you have choices, it's always good to do the smallest one first. In other words, if you're going to have a part to paint, it's always good to paint the smallest part, because then you only have to backmask that. Well, in the case of a decal, if I do the smaller of the decals and work my way up, I want to leave the FZR for last because this is the crown jewel of the decals for this bike. To start with the smaller ones, if there's a problem, it's easier to resolve it on a smaller set of decals than on a big one. We don't want to, in other words, what I'm saying is, and it's an important concept, this is a really good tip, don't start with the biggest one first. If you're painting, don't start with the biggest part first. Now to finish on this part that I have, this is a final test part, and this one is done. This one is all dried up. That actually is ready to buff. But I'm going to let it dry. In the course of doing this project, I confirm my suspicion that the longer you let this dry, it's to your advantage. It just makes the buffing a lot easier. So it'll be tough today to figure out how to use this day effectively, but I know the first thing I have to do here, and I've thought it through, I've had my coffee. I've got to clean up this table for Miles. He's going to be here the better part of the day. And I've got to get the decals off of that table. And if I do have some spare time, I can start cutting them out. And it always seems like, for me anyway, I get up in the morning, I have to check the weather. Once I check the weather, then I have to check the family obligations for the day. And then whatever's left of the day, it's like, then I can fool around and play motorcycle mechanic. So this is the site. It's superbrightleds.com. Now years ago, John was restoring his vet, and he replaced all the bulbs with LEDs, even the dashboard bulbs, I think. So when he did that, I replaced the taillight bulbs on some of my bikes and those R1 forward headlight bulbs with really, really good results. Now I know by doing this is not really a nice clear picture of what it is, but I wanted to show the sight, the bulbs. I'm excited about ordering these today, and maybe something you want to experiment with. They basically are $12 each, and what they do, the one circuit is clear, and then I guess you could use these at tail light bulbs too. Then it turns to amber for the directional. And they have a nice little video on here showing what they look like. Just curiously looking at this, they have special bulbs for Harleys here. I wonder what that's all about. Maybe they have a different socket. I don't have a Harley, so I don't know. But we need the ones that go in a standard socket, 1157. So I always try to plan out every day as efficiently as possible, and sequencing, of course, and I try to share that information with everybody. I planned this day out. I thought I was going to do some polishing on the frame. I bought some touch-up paint for the exhaust system, some barbecue paint, and some radiator paint. And then the phone rang, and Turbo Steve is back from Texas. So I'm going to bring his stuff downstairs so we can evaluate what still we want to do on his project. Every day is unpredictable. Now we still have to resolve that decal issue. That really bothers me, but again, there's always a way to resolve everything. With paint, it's not like a marriage. It's more like I'm living with this woman. It's not a marriage. We can always get the paint off if we have to, or go right over it. And I had a quick call from Luciano. He's doing so many things on his Cafe Racer project. I wanted to get up there and see it today. But you know what? We got Steve's parts everywhere here. It'll be a good thing because I can work on his stuff in between doing my decals for the FZR. And one of the primary things is always, and we are right at that point of the year now, I try to schedule things, and I know maybe I got overboard on this. I try to always figure things out so something is drying while I'm working on projects that don't require dry time. And I was saving the frame polishing, and I got some high temperature paint for the radiator, and I want to sand down the exhaust system and put the barbecue paint in. But I want to do that while my clear is drying up by a heating vent, and I'm just trying to plan everything out. It's very difficult when you have, well, it's not difficult. It's difficult when you have so many projects to work on at the same time, prioritizing them. And the problem is, this is the lowest priority because we still have 3 months before we're ever even going to consider riding this. But it's funny, I brought out my my bucket of polish and wax and everything just before the phone rang. So Steve, you now have the priority. Now to be fair, we started Steve's project with some pretty rough parts, and I think the result here is spectacular, to say the least. And the only disappointing thing, it happened right at the time, actually right at the time that I'm doing my decals. So when Steve gets here, he said he has some other decals. This was the only disappointing part. But we have ways of fixing that. We have ways of fixing everything here. But I don't know if he's going to want it fixed. And since it's his motorcycle, we defer to him. And today is a wonderful example of what I always talk about. Why I have a priority list for indoor jobs, a priority list for outdoor jobs, and then the unexpected, the curveball that comes our way. And sometimes those priority lists change in a blink of an eyeball. But as I'm waiting for Steve to get here, a thought occurred to me. Of course, we're in 2019 right now. And how long ago it was basically a long time ago. This was just a thought in my mind, and it looks like it's really starting to come to fruition here. And I'm really looking forward to seeing those LED light bulbs that John found. I'm excited to see how Steve's job is ultimately going to work out, and when he brings it up to one of the meetups, I'm sure he's going to be proud of it. And as a side benefit, we're learning a lot that we thought we knew everything there was to know about decals up until this project. But we're learning that we don't, not learning, we're relearning that we don't know it all. And I hope you're picking up some good information if you're watching along with us on this set of videos. Now the only problem is going to be that Miles is going to be here in a couple hours. So we want it, the idea is when Steve gets here, I want to resolve his issue. And then I got to clean the table off and put this all somewhere. Put it in a washing machine or something. So another little bit of information I wanted to share. Now what I did, this is from Lowe's. It's Krylon, about $5 a can. High heat, it's made for barbecues. And they have silver. The silver is nice if you're going to paint an engine part, number one. We're not going to do engine parts, but we're going to do the edges of the radiator. That's was on my priority list. Obviously today it's going to change. The other thing is I want to, as much of the exhaust system as I can get to with a wire brush, clean it up while I have it apart. And I'm going to show this on a future video. But this paint, the reason I wanted to show this, I had bought some real expensive paint years ago off of the internet that was supposed to be the best exhaust system paint you could buy, and it was guaranteed, and it was like $25 a can without shipping. I put it on the RD, went for a ride, came back, and it was already crappy looking. So it already started to like it wasn't happy. So I'm going back to the age-old thing, barbecue paint, and that's certainly good enough. You don't really see the exhaust system anyway, but it's maintenance and it'll keep it from rusting while we have the bike apart like this. It's a shame not to do it. So the number one issue we want to resolve is this, that the decals did not come out perfectly clear on this. Now, I always would have to say this before Steve gets here. If this were my motorcycle, and it's not, I would mask off everything, including the white stripe with tinfoil, wet sand this whole thing down with 600, not sand through the decals, but just get it level. And since we have plenty of red paint, that wouldn't be an issue at all. And then just redo this. Once that's done, then sand this part down. Well, you could sand the whole thing at once, I guess, because you'd want to re-clear the whole tank. And this project already has about a half a gallon of clear on it, but it doesn't matter. The cost of the paint is irrelevant. It's the labor that's involved here. Now this part here is just one example of why I prefer decals if I have a choice. If I run my hand over this, I can feel that. Now, it's not objectionable to some people, and maybe it isn't even objectionable to Steve, but my opinion is when you have a full custom paint job, I don't want to feel that. That would be my only thought here. So again, it's Steve's motorcycle. We never like to take the decision power from the customer, and he gets the final vote. Because you're just back from Guatemala. Wait, you sure you're in the country legally here?
Yeah, let's just take this off.
Yeah, let's just give me a green card. Okay, so you agree with me?
This looks great.
Okay, paint is fine. Yeah, my decal, of course. Look at this. Mine came out. What does that tell you? Anyway, the way to fix this, I see you got more decals, but the way I would fix it, I would wet sand the whole tank. I can do that in one day. Back mask this part, respray the red. Really? Then put on a new decal. Okay, follow through. This is more of the work than what you want to do, but this is the right way to do it. Then put a new decal of your choice, but make sure it's not this decal from a new package or something.
I printed out from new decals.
This is brand new stuff. Okay.
We'll test it like you did on Cloud.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But that's the right way to do it, because you will never not see this.
Right.
And I don't care about the extra labor of doing it. It's a 1 day to sand it, 1 day back mask it and shoot the red, and decal and clear. It's 3 days it adds to the project. Wow, so
if you're up for that much work, boy, I just thought we just...
I'm not. I wanted you to sand it. I had you in mind. What do I look like? So what Steve has, we cut the end off of his decal sheet. He's going to just soak it no more than 30 seconds. That's one of the rules of decal.
Really?
No more than 30 seconds or you lose the glue.
Have you been counting?
You are. Whose job is this?
20.
I'm in management today. The 1 day a year I get to be in management. Get your other decals out of here before they get wet. Put it on anywhere, because we'll take it off. But I just want to see how clear it is. This will be the test. There's no ink on that, so it can't be the ink. It can't be anything that, you know, you're done, just take it off. I want to see how clear it is.
I guess I need more time.
Okay.
Talks amongst yourselves.
No, we want to see this in real time. You know.
Look at it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Let me cut out a square piece. This is
cut.
two.
You got more paper.
Yeah.
Cut out one.
I'll cut out a decal.
Yeah. No, you can't because you don't want the ink. The ink is going to go bye-bye. So Steve's new name is Butterfingers McGurk. Okay. That's all you need.
Okay. It's going to be harder to apply.
Yeah, now I can feel that this has twice the glue. Because you can see the glue. I can feel it with my hand.
Yeah, I can feel it.
What I'll call glue. But it's definitely clearer than. And just keep doing that until it, you know, we'll take it off, of course, but. Yeah, now you can feel that this glue is. The one you did before, I couldn't even feel the glue. I said, oh, remember you.
It probably dried out. It's like I said.
It could have been dried out.
It was a year old. That was.
Yeah. No, right here. I could. Look, I can pick it up with my finger.
Yeah.
Okay, so don't get the edge. Start in the middle like a sunburst.
Oh, I see.
Changes everything, right?
They got a little glue on there.
Yeah, no. Let me just show that. Look. Your thing didn't have any glue on it. Throw it that way. Okay. Get another one. I gave you a whole handful. They're cheap. I went out of business years ago. I got plenty of cards. There you go. Perfect. I just use a new edge. Start at the other edge. Wow. Well, don't worry about that.
Yeah. But we can see that it's a lot better.
Let me see when you put.
I can still see the decal, but we're gonna coat that. So.
Well, I want to see it when it's.
It's never going to disappear. That's what I think. What do you think?
Well, it's never like it's not there, but the other one is like a shower door that you didn't wipe to clean, you know, after you take a shower.
Look at that.
Well, it's not nearly as bad, but it's not clear. I don't understand why this isn't crystal clear.
You see, looks like.
I don't get that.
Some of it came out okay. The edge is something like by the S between the two A's.
It's like it's dried out, not dried out, or it's. I don't know. That's making me crazy. Okay. Well, I don't know. It's your call, my friend. To me, I'd get new decal paper. I don't know.
You know what I'm going to do?
Or get a sticker from Pete.
I'm going to print it out on sticker paper like that.
This is good.
Buy that sticker paper.
Look at this, work perfect. Yeah. Can you print on that?
Well, that I ordered online, and they don't come in these large sizes. But I can get this paper and then print it on my home printer.
Okay. Well, that would be my first choice. You know, considering the amount of time and energy, and we got into this already, I wouldn't want to risk that you repaint the whole tank and that you're still going to see this. That's I don't know why that is. That's crazy. Totally crazy. So we're going to get started on the rehab of the tank. Steve's got some 1200 Merca. We got 1200 Merca. And you're going to sand it, get the whole tank flat. Then he's going to have the stickers made. What are you going to do? You going to have the guy make up the stickers, or you're going to just buy the paper?
I'm going to source out some sticker paper.
Okay. I put that information on a video that John sent, but you know, you be my guest to experiment.
Yeah.
And the guy that Mark used was very good. That stuff was, if all else fails, use that stuff.
Was it sticker or was it decal?
Call him. I know it worked on his Honda. We had no problems with him at all.
I think those are the ones I made up from.
Why? I
know what the paper is.
Okay.
I just ran it. I used it, but I guess it was old.
Well, this paper that you got.
This is the paper.
Yeah.
I found it, and I already ordered the other stuff. But I found this. I said, oh, I have this. Let me use this. I know this works, but I guess because it was old. You know.
But ask the guy if you're talking to the guy that actually is making them. See if the paper is clear. Because I'm going to do my decals in the next couple days, and if mine are clear, then the problem is solved.
No, I print these at home.
I know you print them, but I'm saying it's the paper.
So who am I?
It's the
who makes
paper.
The paper? It's some company. It's probably some.
It's Papilio in Texas.
It's probably some guy out in China.
Nah, you never. Who knows?
You get on the phone. You don't know what they're.
Yeah, he could be a guy like me working out of his basement. A guy like you that we don't know what you do. Carries a gun. Women fear him coast to coast. And then you disappear into Texas. Nobody knows where you are, who you are. Comes back wearing a cowboy hat.
Have laptop will travel. As long as I got my laptop, I'm able to work.
So in this little session that we had, Steve and I sanded 2 parts down. I did the seat. He did the tank. He's going to resolve his decal issue before we go to the next step. And I guess the biggest thing is figuring out where we're going to put all this stuff when the baby gets here. That might be the biggest challenge of all today. You can come over any day you want. Now what Steve and I decided to do, because of course it's his bike, we're going to take some of the other parts. I've been hiding them under the table so Miles can't step on them. We're going to take the rest of the parts of the bike. We got the seat done. We got the a couple of the other parts need to be done, but Steve is certainly qualified to do it. And he may get a promotion into management someday. Now that came out great. You're not going to be sorry you did that. And when we get a paintable day, that I'll shoot the red and then just wait for you to get the decals. Sort of way the day played out here for Steve. I think he's on the path to success here. And I think he made all the right choices here. We're going to get that all sanded down. I have a fresh gallon of clear. We can start putting another coat of clear on it as soon as he gets some of the parts. But he's got to get the decals, and as soon as we get a paintable day, I got to get the new coat of red on there. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.